The purpose of this video is to provide instructions for deleting client records submitted using the MOTS Client Entry web portal. Please review the MOTS reference manual for additional information about data entry. This manual and other helpful tools can be found on the MOTS public website. The MOTS Client Entry Delete Client functionality provides the ability to delete a client record that was entered into MOTS Client Entry in error. Other functions provide the ability to delete just the addictions detail section of the behavioral health record, a behavioral health episode, not the entire client record, a mental health crisis event, or an involuntary service event. Caution: MOTS has no undelete functionality. Once a client record has been deleted, in whole or in part, it cannot be restored. The delete process should not be used to close a client's episode of care. If a client has engaged in treatment and then completed or otherwise concluded it, do not delete. Instead, change his or her treatment status accordingly. The purpose of this video is to provide instructions specifically for deleting data from MOTS if it was entered via the client entry data submission method. Instructions for entering data are available in other videos, which should be viewed before this one. Instructions for deleting client records submitted electronically from an EHR are also in another video. This demonstration will take place in the MOTS training environment using randomly generated test clients. After logging in, the MOTS homepage will display. Click the Client Entry tab at the top of the screen. From here, this demonstration will illustrate the process for deleting clients or parts of client records using 5 scenarios. Scenario A, delete client. Scenario B, delete addiction detail. Scenario C, delete behavioral health episode. Scenario D, delete mental health crisis. Scenario E, delete involuntary services. In situations similar to scenarios B, C, D, and E, if the portion of the client's record being deleted is the only data entered for him or her, MOTS will produce an error message. A client record cannot exist without some data connected to it. If all of a client's data needs to be deleted, use the Delete Client screen, as described in Scenario A, instead of attempting to delete portions of it. Scenario A, delete client. For this portion of the demonstration, an entire client record needs to be deleted because, for example, it was erroneously entered twice, creating a duplicate. First, find the client. In order to delete a client, his or her client ID is required. Use this client lookup screen to find it. Confirm that the agency and facility fields contain the correct selections. Enter all or part of the client's last name, or enter all or part of the client's first name, or client ID, or Medicaid ID. In searching for a client, the less information entered, or the broader the search criteria, the better. Simple differences in the spelling of a name may make existing clients difficult to find. Click the Search button. The search results are displayed. Locate the client to be deleted. If needed, click any part of the line containing his or her name and other information to review the details and confirm that this record should be deleted. Remember, there is no way to recover deleted data. Confirm that the correct client record has been found. Make note of the client ID. Use the computer's copy command if desired. When ready, click the Admin tab near the top of the screen. Then select the Delete Client option. If the Delete Client option is not available, contact MOTS support and ask for delete permissions to be added to your user account. This request needs to come from the agency or facility system administrator and must include the name of the person who needs delete client access and the date he or she reviewed this instructional video. It is the responsibility of the agency or facility system administrator to be sure staff are adequately trained on the delete client functions. A simplified client lookup screen will be displayed. All 3 fields are required in order to search for a client, and the client ID will only search for an exact match. This search did not return any client records. For this example, it is because the client ID entered does not match any existing clients. Verify that the correct client has been selected. A variety of messages may appear along with the client information. These are warning messages showing data associated with the client that will also be deleted. If this is acceptable, click the Delete Client Anyway button. This button will only say Delete Client if no associated data messages appear, indicating that only client profile data was found. MOTS will ask for confirmation. Click Yes or No as appropriate. If Yes is clicked, the client record will be permanently deleted. A Client Successfully Deleted notification will appear when the delete process has completed. Scenario B, Delete Addiction Detail. For this portion of the demonstration, only the addiction detail portion of a client record needs to be deleted because, for example, the client is only receiving mental health services. First, find the client on the client lookup screen. Enter search criteria. Click the search button, and the search results are displayed. Click any part of the line containing his or her name and other information to access his or her client summary. Then click the line for the behavioral health record that contains the addiction detail data to be deleted. Click the Addiction Detail tab. This screen includes two delete buttons. Use caution. The Delete Episode button will delete addiction detail data and behavioral health detail data, which may be more than necessary. Click the Delete Addiction Info button near the bottom left corner of the screen. MOTS will ask for confirmation. Click Yes or No as appropriate. If Yes is clicked, the addiction detail portion of this episode will be permanently deleted. Any updates that may have been made on the client profile or behavioral health detail screens on the way to the addiction detail screen, if they were not saved, will be lost. The addiction detail data will be deleted and MOTS will return to the client summary screen. Scenario C, Delete Behavioral Health. For this portion of the demonstration, an entire episode of care within the client record needs to be deleted because, for example, it was erroneously entered twice, or because the client did not engage in treatment after his or her initial appointment was set. First, find the client on the client lookup screen. Enter search criteria, click the search button, and the search results are displayed. Click any part of the line containing his or her name and other information to access his or her client summary, then click the line for the behavioral health record to be deleted. Click the Delete Episode button at the bottom of the screen. This button will appear on the Client Profile, Behavioral Health, and Addiction Detail tabs. MOTS will ask for confirmation. Click Yes or No as appropriate. If Yes is clicked, the episode of care will be permanently deleted. When the episode has been successfully deleted, MOTS will return to the client summary screen. If this client had multiple episodes, the behavioral health section will now show data from the most recent episode. Scenario D, Delete Mental Health Crisis. For this portion of the demonstration, a mental health crisis event within the client record needs to be deleted because, for example, it was erroneously entered for the wrong client. First, find the client on the client lookup screen. Enter search criteria, click the search button, and the search results are displayed. Click any part of the line containing his or her name and other information to access his or her client summary. Then click the line for the mental health crisis event to be deleted. Click the Mental Health Crisis tab. Review this record to confirm it is the one that needs to be deleted. If it is, click the Delete Crisis button at the bottom of the screen. MOTS will ask for confirmation. Click Yes or No as appropriate. If Yes is clicked, this crisis event will be permanently deleted. When the crisis event has been successfully deleted, MOTS will return to the client summary screen. Scenario E, Delete Involuntary Services. For this portion of the demonstration, an involuntary service event within the client record needs to be deleted because, for example, it was erroneously entered for the wrong client. First, find the client on the client lookup screen. enter search criteria, click the search button, and the search results are displayed. Click any part of the line containing his or her name and other information to access his or her client summary. Then click the line for the involuntary service event to be deleted. Click the Involuntary Service tab. Review this record to confirm it is the one that needs to be deleted. If it is, click the Delete Involuntary Service button at the bottom of the screen. MOTS will ask for confirmation. Click Yes or No as appropriate. If Yes is clicked, this involuntary service event will be permanently deleted. When the involuntary service event has been successfully deleted, MOTS will return to the client summary screen. This concludes the training video about deleting clients submitted via MOTS client entry. This video may be viewed at any time for training new staff or for reviewing the steps and processes required to delete a client.